Hello students, in our last module we have discussed about what is suspension system, different types of suspension system and their relative advantages and disadvantages, and what is the purpose of suspension system in the vehicle. Now in this module we will discuss about the type of suspension system, which is independent or flexible type of suspension system, including double wishbone type and MacPherson strut type of suspension system, their construction, working principles and relative advantages and disadvantages. So let's start with the lecture. So these are the major learning outcomes from this schedule. After the completion of this module, you will be understand what is the independent suspension system. You will be able to select suspension type system as per the requirement of a vehicle, and you will understand specification of different automotive suspension systems. So what is a suspension system? A suspension system is the term given to the system of springs, shock absorbers and linkages that connects a vehicle to its wheels. It contributes to car's handling and braking. It protects the vehicle itself and any cargo or luggage from damage and wear. The suspension system of a vehicle refers to the group of mechanical components that connects the wheels to the frame or body. A great deal of engineering effort has been gone into the design of suspension systems because of an unaiding effort to improve vehicles' ride and handling along with the passenger safety and comfort. The early automobiles used the one piece axle design, but instead of being rotated at the center, it was fixed mounted to the vehicle through spring to provide the cushioning of shock loads from road inaccuracies. The wheels were rotationally mounted at the axle ends to provide steering. The first springs consisted of thin layers of narrow pieces of a strip steel stacked together in an elliptical shape and were called as leaf springs. In later installations, leaf springs were replaced by coil springs. In front engine, rear drive vehicles, the front beam axle was replaced by independently mounted steerable wheels. The wheels were supported by short upper and lower hinged arms holding them perpendicular to the road, as did the previous axle beam designs. A coil spring was used to support either the upper or the lower arm to provide dampening. Shock absorbers began to use to dampen shock loads and also to provide resistance to spring oscillations. Later, it was learned by shortening the upper arm. Wheel tilt, that is camber, could be controlled to prevent edge loading tires while cornering. The power transmitting drive axle in the rear served as the beam type suspension with dampening provided by either leaf or coil spring as well as shock absorbers. When front engine front drive passenger cars were introduced, the upper arm was rotated up and replaced by a member called as strut, which contained the concentrically mounted spring and shock. This arrangement provided additional space for transverse mounted engine or transmission modules and the front drive shaft. The same type of suspension was also used in the rear of many cars. Trucks continue to be front engine rear drive vehicles, many of which are using beam type axle suspension systems in both the front and rear. So suspension system can be classified into two types. The first one is non-independent or rigid type of suspension system, and second is independent or flexible type of suspension system. So in this module we will be discussing only about independent type of suspension system. So what is independent type of suspension system? So independent suspension system is any automobile suspension system that allows each wheel on the same axle to move vertically, that is reacting to a bump on the road independently of the others. This is contrast with the beam axle or D-Dion axle system in which the wheels are linked. Movement on one side does not affect the wheel on the other side. Independent refers to the motion or path of movement of the wheels or suspension. It is common for the left and right sides of the suspension to be connected with anti-roll bars and other such mechanisms. The anti-roll bar ties the left and right suspension spring rates together but does not tie their motion together. Most modern vehicles have independent front suspension. Many vehicles have also an independent rear suspension. Independent rear suspension, as the name implies, has the rear wheels independently sprung. A fully independent suspension has an independent suspension on all wheels. Some early independent systems were used swing axles, but modern systems use Champman or McPherson strut, trailing arms, multi-link, or wishbones. Independent suspension typically offers better ride quality and handling characteristics due to lower unsprung weight and the ability of each wheel to address the road undisturbed but by activities of the other wheel on the vehicle. Independent suspension requires additional engineering effort and expense in development versus a beam or live axle arrangement. A very complex independent rear suspension solution can also be result in higher manufacturing cost. The key reason for lower unsprung weight relative to a live axle design is that for driven wheels, the differential unit does not form part of unsprung element of the suspension system. Instead, it is either bolted directly to the vehicle's chassis or more commonly to the subframe. The relative movement between the wheels and the differential is achieved through the use of swinging drive shafts connected via universal joints or U joints, analogous to the constant velocity joints used in the front wheel drive vehicles. So what are the advantages of independent suspension system over dependent or rigid suspension system? So the elastic strain energy per unit spring weight stored in a coil or torsion bar spring is greater than in case of a semi-elliptical leaf spring, which means lighter springs can be used in case of independent suspension system. In case of independent suspension, unspring weight is reduced, which ultimately reduces the tire scrub and hence increases the tire life. Compared to the rigid axle type, softer spring can be used without increasing rolling effect. So, soft springs improves ride. Improved steering precision since wheel movements are not linked. Gyroscopic action is reduced and the wheel travel path is controlled more accurately. In case of independent suspension, steering geometry is not altered with a spring deflection as in case of conventional rigid axle suspension, where effect is especially noticeable during braking or acceleration. Since in this there is no solid axle beam which required clearance for its vertical movements, the engine and the chassis frame can be placed relatively lower, which means engine position can be moved forward, resulting in more space for passengers. With some advantages, there are some disadvantages or drawbacks of independent suspension system. There, the initial cost is high, greater maintenance required because of more number of bearings, misalignment of steering geometry with the wear of components, thus requiring more frequent attentions. In the event of body roll, the wheels camber or tilt outwards in case of wishbone type and inwards in case of McPherson strut type, due to which cornering power is reduced. More rigid subframe or chassis frame is required. Forces due to unbalanced wheels are more pronounced and transmitted easily to the steering wheels. So these are the some advantages and disadvantages of independent suspension system. Now there are 5 types of independent suspension system, which are namely divided as: first one is wishbone types, or which is also called as A type of suspension system or V type of suspension system. Second one is McPherson strut types of suspension system, which is also called as wishbone type of suspension system. Now you cannot be confused between wishbone type and McPherson strut type, because wishbone uses two arms, which one is upper and second is lower, and McPherson strut type uses only one control arm. Third type is vertical guide types. Fourth is trailing link type, and next is swinging half axle. So in this module we will be discussing only about double wishbone type suspension system and McPherson strut type suspension system. So what is wishbone type or parallel link type suspension system? So when someone tells you their car or truck has a wishbone suspension, it is not turkey talk. They are referring to a specific type of suspension design that allows the vehicle's wheels to move, adjust and adapt to quickly changing road and driving conditions. Though there are several other suspension systems, the wishbones or double wishbone, to be exact, is pretty popular and has been around for almost a century. So what is a wishbone suspension? So invented in 1930s A double wishbone system was one of the first independent suspension system to be adopted across the automotive industry. The idea behind this system was quite simple. Create an independent system with two control arms mounted one above the other. The double wishbone is an independent suspension design that can be found at the front, rear, or all four wheels. In the context, independence means that a single wheel's movement is not affected by the other three wheels. In other words, it's free to move somewhat independently of the chassis. This design offers several advantages, especially in high performance on and off-road environments. The key benefit is that, unlike a similar McPherson strut type setup, double wishbone design does not significantly affect wheel camber with suspension travel. That means a consistent tire contact patch with the road regardless of the body roll or road bumps. The setup gets its wishbone nickname thanks to the two control arms, which is also known as wishbones or A-arms, that hold the wheel knuckle and spindle. Though individually setups may vary, there is a basic recipe for a wishbone suspension. So let's move towards the construction of double wishbone suspension system. So wishbone type of suspension system consists of upper and the lower arm wishbone arms pivoted to the frame members as shown in the figure. These arms resembles letter A of the Roman alphabet, due to which these are also referred to as A arms. The spring is placed in between the lower wishbone and the underside of the cross member. The vehicle weight is transmitted from the body and the cross member to coil spring and is attached to the cross members and lower wishbone member. The wishbone arms are like letter V in the shape or chicken wishbone, because of which the system is so called. Because of this V shape, the wishbones not only position the wheels and transmit the vehicle load to the spring, but these also resist acceleration, braking and cornering forces. The upper arm are shorter in length than the lower ones. This helps to keep the wheel track constant, thereby avoiding the tire scrub, thus minimizing the tire wear. The wishbone system is the most popular independent suspension system. Further, the camber also does not change when the wheel moves up and down. So what are the advantages of double wishbone suspension system? So there is a reason why double wishbone design has struck around for such a long time. It all has to do with how car behaves in a corner. As we all know, there is always going to be some amount of body roll when you enter a corner. Let's take a car navigating a left hand corner as an example. As the car moves through the corner, the body of the vehicle going to roll slightly to the right, loading the suspension on that side of the vehicle. That body roll will affect the wheel grip during cornering, as the camber becomes a factor. If you get too much positive camber on the outside wheels, you will run into poor grip issues. Double wishbone, especially a modern system with a shorter upper arm control arm, solves this issue. Instead of positive camber on the outside of set of wheels, you are getting slightly negative camber. The result is better grip in all around. Another obvious advantage of the double wishbone system is the level of fine tuning that can be done to it. By having two massive control arms connecting the wheels to the frame, there is plenty of room to design an efficient shock absorber setup. Various car brands use different systems. Some run coilovers, while others feature separate shock and spring setups. So the double wishbone suspension has improved steering precision and it also has increased ground clearance. So with some advantages, there are some disadvantages or drawback of this double wishbone suspension system. So one of the main problem with a double wishbone setup is its sheer complexity. Compared to most other types of independent suspension, double wishbone setups are complex. As you probably know, complexity in the automotive world often means higher maintenance and replacement cost. Because of it's generally recommended that you use only OEM parts and stick to the brands that have a proven track records when it comes to the quality. So there is, because of this, it also requires frequent wheel alignments. So second type of independent suspension system is McPherson strut type of suspension system. A McPherson strut type of suspension that combines two main functions as steering rod and as a suspension or vibration dampener. In old systems, these functions were performed by two separate parts. With the McPherson strut, both functions are done by a single component. This simplification makes the McPherson strut less expensive than other systems to incorporate into a car. The McPherson strut was developed by American automotive engineer Earl S. McPherson back in the late 1940s. His version of the strut is largely influenced by the designs by Guido Forneca, his peer or rival who worked at Fiat, and Cotin Desgots, a French automaker that employed a leaf spring based design that unified the steering rod and suspension into one. Using these earlier designs as inspiration, McPherson began to develop his own system in 1940s. Utilizing a single assembly, coil spring and shock absorber. The first car to feature McPherson invention was the 1949 Ford Verdette, followed by the Ford Consul or Zephyr, both released in 1951. McPherson initially incorporated his invention in both front and rear wheels, but because of the inclusion of the steering rod, it has more practical operations for the front only. Most cars today usually have a front McPherson strut front and torsion beam rear suspension pairing, although the rear McPhersons can still be used in some cars. So what is the working of McPherson strut suspension? The McPherson's system can use either a steering knuckle or hub carrier with two mounting points, one at the top and one at the bottom, that bolt to the body of the vehicle. The lower mounting points links to a track control arm which operates both the longitudinal and lateral direction of the wheels assembly. The upper mounting points on the other hand links to a coil spring, shock absorber or both. The two mounting points together with the knuckle or hub joint make the McPherson strut into a sturdy yet versatile 3-point support structure for both the wheels and the car body that can easily be customized to more demanding usages, whether it for be hauling cargo or racetrack driving. So there are some advantages of McPherson strut suspension system over a double wishbone type of suspension system. So those are the simplicity of the McPherson strut is its main advantages. By eliminating the need for the separate upper control arm, the McPherson strut requires less components to produce, which makes the cheaper to make, more lightweight and smaller than other types of suspension systems. The last two benefits means McPherson takes up less space without adding too much to a car's heaviness, that it makes the vehicle light in weight. Unfortunately, simplicity is also McPherson's biggest drawback. The manner in which it's bolted to the body, where the axis connects straight down to the wheel, doesn't dampen vibrations very well. However, this can be softened by bushing and the supports of other mechanism and components. The same simplicity in its construction also means that the camber angle shifts along with the vertical position of the wheel when it turns. This can hamper a car's handling, which makes the McPherson strut more inferior to advanced suspension system such as double wishbone systems. So there are some drawbacks of McPherson strut suspension system. One of the biggest disadvantage of the McPherson strut is that it is not quite suitable for high powered front wheel drive cars. First, wide tires cannot be used. Large offset rims or spacers are required, which in turn increases the unsprung mass. Secondly, when by turning the entire column, the column of inclination of the wheels relative to the ground slightly changes and there is unfavorable friction in the piston rod seat of the dampener. This causes a reduction in grip in the corner and disturbances in the transmission of torque to the wheels during acceleration and high forces transmitted to the steering wheel. In terms of a driving comfort, the McPherson's disadvantage is also vibrations coming from the rod. They are partially eliminated by thick rubber cushions in the upper socket of the shock absorber mounting. Due to the two mounting points, the McPherson suspension system is also relatively fragile. It is easy to damage when driving over large unevenness. Due to the above, manufacturers of the sports car began to create very similar solution based on the ideas of McPherson but not being a copy of them. Examples of such cars are the previous generation Ford Focus RS with Revo-knuckle suspension system and some Opel models including from the OPC family where a solution called Hyperstrut was used. So now question is arises that which one is better, or which double wishbone McPherson to be used or McPherson strut to be used in a vehicle. So McPherson strut are the yin to double wishbone yang. These two systems are often observed as a polar opposite, even though they share the same roots. With that said, that McPherson strut setup brings a whole different set of benefits. For starters, it leaves much more room for a drive shaft compared to the double control arm setup. With wishbones, you are looking at a possible coilover or a shock being in the waist depending on the exact setup. This is why McPherson struts are often found on front wheel drive cars. Depending or additionally, McPherson struts are much cheaper to produce as there are fewer components and moving parts to link the out. Where McPherson falls short in camber when you corner in a fitted when you corner in a car fitted with McPherson strut, the body roll of the car is resulting in a minimum camber change. As a result, you are looking at poor tire grip and suboptimal contact with the road during cornering. Overall, each of these systems is optimized for different applications. The double control arm or wishbone systems are often found in performance oriented cars as well as vehicles where a high amount of suspension travel is important. On the other hand, McPherson struts are great for front wheel drive applications and more balanced use. So in this module we have learned about the independent type of suspension system. It's two types. First one is double wishbone type of suspension system, and second one is McPherson strut type of suspension system. Thank you for listening.